We've had 15,000 combined strikes inside Iran. Iran's missile capacity is down 90%. Their drone capacity is down 95%. We're now bringing another battleship here, the USS Tripoli, with 2,200 Marines at least on board. And we took out 90 U.S. strikes on Karg Island. It's their oil island. It's their export hub. We could take it in a second. We might just do it. Somehow the markets are feeling more optimistic today. It's up almost 500 points. But the danger is still present. The terror alerts are on high for good reason. Michael Makovsky joins us now, President and CEO of the Jewish Institute for National Security of America. He's a leading Washington, D.C. based educational organization. Michael, welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me back.
No problem. So, Michael, do you think this regime stands until the morning after it eventually falls? Do you think this conflict ends with them still there?
It's a great question. It's one of the most important questions, obviously, that the U.S. and Israel face. I could see it going a couple different ways. It's possible. I mean, we're reading about, or we're learning about some cracks in the system where you have some troops not reporting these Israeli, I think that's coming from Israel, these drones that are attacking these besieged militia checkpoints is leading, which was a key way that the regime suppresses its people, seems to have having an impact. So it could help facilitate people coming. It's really hard to game this kind of thing. Look, the people came out on the street 6 months after the 12-day war, after Operation Hammer was done. So sometimes these things could happen right away, and sometimes it's a delayed fuse. It's kind of hard to know, but I do think I think a key moment will be when the U.S. and Israel say, okay, we've done what we came to do. And if the regime is still standing, then if the people come out, our forces will still be in place that might be able to help protect them. So we'll see. That might be a key moment to watch.
How would you rate the level of anti-Semitism in this country and around the world right now, 1 to 10?
Oh, well, compared to what it was before October 7th, it's obviously over 10. It's terrible. And I give President Trump a lot of credit for fighting it at the university levels. But what we're seeing in these attacks, like this attack by this in Detroit, it's just awful. And I think, what we need to see more of is people across the political spectrum ostracize these people, these anti-Semites everywhere. I'd like to see Kamala Harris attack, Mamdani, for instance, as opposed to
she endorses him.
Yeah, exactly. That's the problem. So when you endorse people like Mamdani, you're promoting anti-Semitism. So I think it's a real problem. I'd like to have seen people on the left criticize Mamdani's wife for liking all those horrendous, tweets about on October 7th. Yeah, there you go. So we don't see that, and unless we see that, I think we're going to have a problem in this country. And as you well know, under the Biden administration, we allowed in millions of people who we don't even know who they are, and you got to assume a lot of those people are still bad, and we haven't collected all those people yet and kicked them out. So I worry about those people as well.
So now we have a situation where Mamdani's going to meet with 4 Jewish leaders in New York City, I guess to pretend as if he cares about their welfare. And I think some other prominent Jewish leaders are saying, I'm not going to be part of a photo op. What have you heard?
Yeah, I hear the same. I mean, it's supposed to only go for 15 or 20 minutes. So that sounds like an extended photo op to me. Look, we all know fundamentally what his views are. He's anti-Israel. He seems to be fine with anti-Semitism, given who his wife is, given that they just feeded the Khalil. The guy was the last week in Express. He had a bad year, and this is an anti-American, anti-Israel, anti-Semite guy. They had him at Gracie Mansion. So I think he can't have it both ways. And I think the only way we're going to clean this out is really leaders on both sides condemning it.
Mahmoud Khalil is his name. Go ahead.
Mahmoud Khalil. No, thank you. That's right.
So the Michigan synagogue attack, the Israeli intelligence says the brother of the Michigan synagogue attacker was a Hezbollah commander, and they believe this guy was involved with Hezbollah too. Michael Makovsky, what's your takeaway from this?
I think we have a real problem here, obviously, and I worry, and he was a naturalized citizen, which raises questions about, what sort of vetting, if anything, we're doing for a lot of these people. I worry about it very much. I think, unfortunately, all Jewish groups have to really be even more vigilant. You might think they are. I don't think all of them are vigilant enough. We have an anti-Semitism problem. There's no question about it that facilitates this kind of thing. And by the way, I commend the security forces and how they responded so quickly. The security people at the temple and also the police in the area. I thought they did a good job. But all police forces have to be more vigilant. And again, I think this is a scourge that unfortunately we're going to be living with for a while.
So we're taking on Iran, the number one exporter of terror. And the ones who was doing everything to get a nuclear weapon. They even confirmed they had 400 plus kilograms of enriched uranium to 60%. But yet you have every Democrat outside John Fetterman against this operation, as if 6 other presidents didn't have to deal with it. Kimberly Strassel of the Wall Street Journal tried to put it in perspective with me last night. Cut 15.
What's changed is the base is now anti-America, anti-Israel, reactionary to Trump, and these people don't seem to care about anything more than satisfying that base and cynically politicking all the time to get reelected, not about the country or about our people who are fighting this war.
They keep saying it's a war of choice. Do you look at it, Michael, as a war of choice?
Absolutely not. The Islamic Republic of Iran has been at war with the United States since its inception. 47 years ago. We're the big Satan, they keep saying. They've killed hundreds of American soldiers in Iraq. They were involved in that. Also, the Marines in Lebanon and in other places, they killed their own people. I mean, they killed over 30,000 of their own people in 2 days. And some numbers are even higher than that. This is a vile regime. It's unfortunate. The politics in this country, the Democrats feel the need. You would hope that they would see this as a moment to be responsible, like Fetterman is. Maybe the only way they'd be anti-Iran also is if Trump coddles the Iranians, and then they'll say, no, you got to be tough on them. But I think this goes back, obviously, to the Obama years with the JCPOA, the nuclear deal. And we're seeing the fruits of that deal, unfortunately. It's great that Trump withdrew from it. But, look, they got a lot of uranium, and I think it raises the question, and I give Trump, I think he's been very steadfast. I think there are 2 major issues left in this war is our troops and the Israelis continue to pound their conventional capabilities. I think there are 2. One is the nuclear facilities, and one is the regime. We can't leave. I think we can't have both of those in the country when we stop fighting, because this is the regime, if it survives, which we don't know, will be very, very desperate, I think, and eager to do something on the nuclear front. And therefore, we'll see. But I don't have the intelligence, obviously, but we can't allow, I think, that nuclear material at least to be accessible in any way, or we have to get it out of the country, unless the regime collapses, and that will give us a little more leeway.
Michael Makovsky with us, President and CEO of the Jewish Institute for National Security. Michael, do you think there's a way to get in there and get it? I mean, if you listen to the foreign minister, he says it's buried. It's buried at these 2 facilities.
Yeah, you're talking about the Iranian foreign minister. So, right. So, as you know well, if he says that, I got to think the opposite. I don't know. I'll defer to Ratcliffe at the CIA and the others. But I think if there's a way for us to, let's say, establish a security perimeter and bring forces there to extract it, we have to do it. If it's totally inaccessible, then that's fine. And we will say, well, there's no way the Iranians can get it. We're going to watch it like a hawk. My concern is not just the next 3 years while Trump is president. While he's president, I'm not worried. I'm worried who's going to be president after him. So whatever is done has to outlive Trump. And we have to make sure, I think. So if the intelligence community feels like there's no way the Iranians can get it for, let's say, many years beyond Trump's term, then I think then okay. But if not, then I think we got to do something to get it out.
I know, but you guys, I think that after it's done, I mean, there's people within the Trump administration that aren't pro-Israel. The whole Democratic Party is not pro-Israel. I watched Governor Shapiro with Bill Maher over the weekend. He wouldn't see any merits in going after Iran. How do you, as a Jewish man who's pro-Israel, not see the benefits of taking down this brutal regime? It's insane. Why? Because it doesn't poll well, which shows you what type of president he'll be. But I believe you guys have to be prepared to even make your own weapons. I'm not you guys, but Israel has to be able to make their own weapons at this point.
Right. So that's been clear since after October 7th. They need to be more self-reliant on weapons. It'd be good for the United States. There's no way they could be 100% self-reliant. It's actually something my organization, JINSA, is looking into because both our industrial bases of America's and Israel is inadequate for this moment because we just can't produce enough weapons. And both countries have to, I think, expand their industrial base to be more not just self-reliant, but capable to meet these kind of moments.
There was this report over the weekend by Semaphore that Israel made it clear to the U.S. they're running out of interceptors. Yeah,
they've denied that. I don't know the reality on that. That's been denied. It's obviously a very sensitive subject for Israel. We'll say this. There have been a lot of sirens. I think more so this time, if you talk to anyone in Israel, they've been going to the shelters more than they were in the 12-day war last year. On the other hand, for whatever the reason, there hasn't been as much damage, actually. There's been far less damage in Israel from these attacks than there were in the 12-day war. So whatever the Israelis are doing, it seems to be working. But
just to back up your other worry, Ben Rhodes, who was a national security advisor or assistant to Obama, came out and said any Democrat who votes to support and fund this war should be primaried. I mean, that's where this guy is at. He fancies himself a foreign policy expert who helped do the JCPOA. What's your take on this?
It's terrible. I think it's terrible. I mean, it's a terrible thing that they draw the line like this. He's thinking like this 2015, as you point out with the JCPOA. Any responsible politician in America has to be in favor of defanging the Iranian regime from its nuclear weapons. Now, you could maybe argue that there might be different ways to do that, but to me, I think Trump has done more with this war. Mm-hmm. He's actually helped correcting the mess created by the JCPOA. So it's unfortunate that's where the Democratic Party is. I mean, that's why they got an anti-Semitism problem, too.
Michael, Michael Makovsky, our guest. Michael, what is your take on the Gulf states? There's reports over the weekend that MBS told the president hit him harder. Do you think the Gulf states are still unified? Because they're not used to be under an attack like this.
No, I believe that. I met MBS a few years ago, and we talked about the nuclear issue. There's no question that the Saudis they don't want the Iranian regime to have it. Actually, I believe that report. I would like to see, frankly, the Saudis, because they have a lot of weaponry. I'd like them to participate, actually, in this war a little bit. They have been attacked by the Iranians. I think it'd be in their
61
interest.
times.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So I think it would be in their interest to show some military prowess here that they haven't done before. I think they're still overly hesitant in how they deal with Iran. But I think the important thing for them is they need to see that America is not going to give up. And I think they see that in Trump. So I believe that story. And it raises what you're saying. It raises whether the Iranians were smart in attacking all these other countries that weren't really involved in this war. They attacked the Emiratis more than anybody else, and they pushed them all in our camp. They have done a little, I think. It's a little sad. It's a little unfortunate that these Gulf countries really haven't done more militarily, even after they've been attacked. But it does illustrate, I think, how important Israel is an ally in this region, because they are a country of 10 million people. America is about, 335 million? And we are partners in this war. We have no ally in the world, let alone in the region, that is able to bring this kind of military capability to bear on such an important thing. So it does illustrate how important an ally they are.
Yeah, and that's why it's got to be successful. You put these two militaries together, there's nothing that should be able to stop them. Michael Makovsky, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Great talking to you.
All right, we'll be back in